All right guys, let's get into a frog pose now. So, knees are going to be quite wide for this. For the most part, this floor is quite soft, but for the most part you will need to get a mat or a blanket and pop it underneath your knees. So I want to keep them in line with the hips, so not too far forward, not too far back. And then you can see that my feet, so the inside of my feet are going flat to the ground. So here, I definitely even need a mat for this. Not a mat, a blanket. So that's much easier, it just feels comfortable. There we go. Right, and then just come out in front. Should feel like inside the thigh, excuse me. Should feel it inside the thighs, and just relax. A lovely stretch. A couple more brief breaths, about 3 or 4. And just slowly coming out now. And again, holding those knees together nice and slow. And into your reset position again. All right, next we're going to do a melting heart or a puppy pose, loads of different names for it. So, I want to start with my knees roughly around hip width apart. Okay, again, you need to adjust accordingly, but the hips stay over the knees. I'm going to tuck the tailbone up into the air. Almost like sticking my tailbone up. Hands go out in front, and then the head comes through the shoulders, and then we relax the head on the ground. So main areas, maybe in the lower back where we've done that little tilt, but also mainly in those shoulders, and the top part of your back. One of my favourite stretches. About 4 more deep breaths. Last breath. Not ever, but slowly coming out of this stretch now. Ooh, that's a good one. And again, reset however you like. So I've done this, so I like to open up my chest this way. Okay, we're gonna go into a single leg straddle. So I'm gonna keep my right leg straight and then bend my left knee. Left knee. And then I'll get a blanket or a mat underneath my left butt cheek. And I'm gonna almost like sit down on it. So both my hip bones are on the floor, touching the ground. So you may need to adjust again. I want to feel it in the front of that thigh. So similar to that regular straddle where we use both sides, this is a favoured one for me, only because it's much easier to get out. Number one, really. Plus, I kind of get a minute and a half to however long I'm holding it for a little bit more focus on each side. Again, if you need to adjust, adjust. Not in any kind of pain. Last 3 breaths. And then just push down from the hands. You can slowly pull that left leg out and we'll swap sides. So bending that right knee. I'm gonna get that blanket, get it up onto that bar. I was saying in the previous take before I messed up that I never really used this blanket before in this position, in the single leg straddle, and it always just hurt my knee. And I think the props definitely get underutilized in stretching, so especially when you're starting out and you're quite new to stretching, it's really important to grab some props. And it don't have to be these are yoga blocks, but it don't have to be these. You can see this, it can be a book, anything. Yellow pages, don't know if you get those anymore. Blankets, you can get all sorts. Pillows, lots to work with, okay? So they are cheap to buy on eBay or whatever, but you don't have them, you don't need them. Four breaths to go. Last deep breath. And we're going to slowly come out of that. And do your reset pose, whatever that may be. I'm not going to start singing, don't worry guys, you're wiped out. All right, let's get into a banana pose next. So we're just lying down, arms out straight, legs out straight. Then you're going to just bring your legs to the right, hips stay where they are. And then we just try and open up the left side of the body. So we're almost like reaching up away from ourselves, and then we'll grab hold of our left wrist with our right hand and just relax. If your elbow's up off the ground a little bit, no big deal. Areas that we can feel it really anywhere down the side of the left body. I feel it quite aggressively into the shoulders. You can also just place your left leg over your right leg. Stretch a little bit more and just breathe. Shake too much skin today, ever. Just lots of nice deep breaths. So remember, we're always trying to work at around 80%. So not feeling like we would have to get out of this pose in sort of 10 seconds or so. Feel like we're stretching, but it feels comfortable. Couple more deep breaths. And on the next out breath, just slightly relax and bring your hands down. And bring your feet to the middle. Perfect, and we're just going to swap sides now. So, you'll go to your left with your feet, keeping your hips where they are. Hands go up above your head. You're going to open up the right side of your body now, and then hold onto your right wrist. One side's always going to be a little bit tighter than the other. No big deal. Just aware, noting the differences. Nice and easy. Couple more deep breaths. One more breath. And slowly relax the hands and come down and just breathe or go into the next stretch.